Oh my gosh, okay. Hi everyone, my name is Clea. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys can't tell, I finally got a new mic setup and I'm super excited to try it out. So let me know what you think about the sound quality, because before I was roughing it and just using my wired Apple headphones, which low-key did the trick but was not the vibe. So I finally am upgrading my mic setup. Yay! But I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of a different style video, and I'm gonna be talking through my trip to Italy. Usually I do like live vlogging where I'm like talking as I'm doing stuff, but I don't know, I just feel like I didn't want to disturb the peace of Italy and disturb the people around me. So I mainly took more like silent clips. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk through what I did, what I saw, how it was. I was there not that long. I was only there from like Thursday to Sunday, but I felt like we did and saw so much. And like a little bit of background, going to Italy was always my life stream, more specifically Tuscany. Why? No idea. Is it because I used to love going to Olive Garden? Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know where it came from. I think it was like, maybe I saw like the cute scenic wallpaper vibes and I was like, I want to go there. I don't even drink, so it's not like I'm going there for wine or whatever, just for the vibes. Anyways, so for my birthday, I decided to finally pull the trigger and go. A little treat myself moment. I'm like, life is too short to not do the things I want to do. So that's what I did. I took myself to Italy. And on the first day, I was crusty. I literally looked jank. I got off a long freaking journey and flight, but I still managed to bring myself to the first stop, which was I'm gonna look this up. I don't want to mispronounce it and have all the Italians literally ostracize me for being disrespectful. We went to San Gimignano. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I literally looked it up. San Gimignano, which was a super cute town, so scenic. This was the first view that I saw when I got out of the car. And I was like, there's no mother effing way this is real. Like the rolling hills, the greenery. Granted, it was a little gloomy when we went, but it was still beautiful. I think God knew that if it was sunny, I would just like spontaneously combust out of excitement because it would have just been too beautiful for me to comprehend and take in. So I think the gloominess helped bring it down a notch, but it was still so lovely. I was like, you can literally hear birds chirping, just like nature happening. Granted, my allergies were so bad, but it's fine. I was like, wow, this is living. I'm like, what am I doing? Just like working a 9-to-5 job in New York. That's crazy. Yeah, but it was so cute. And then like we walked into like the little town area, which honestly was giving vibes. It was turning 19 in Poland. It was serving what it needed to serve. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is real. It looks just like the movies. It's kind of giving that scene, you know, in Twilight before Edward is about to like expose himself. Cannot expose himself, that sounds wrong. He's about to like reveal his vampiredom to like all the cardinals and popes of Italy. Anyways, you know what scene I'm talking about. Yeah, I was giving that and it was so cute. Just like the little shops, all the chattering. I don't know. I was like, wow, it really does look like the inside of Olive Garden. But oh my gosh, the sun came out for a little bit, so I was very grateful. But all the shops and stuff were so freaking cute. I'm gonna try to put some clips here. Wow. Honestly, now that I'm watching it back, I'm like, I'm blessed. This was blessed. It was so pretty and like the cool towers, and there was so many people there in line for gelato. Spoiler alert, I'm not a gelato gal. I don't know what it is about ice cream and gelato. I'm like not that into it. I'm more of like a chocolate cake tiramisu girl, so I did not get in line. I'm also not a lines girl, so I didn't get in line, but I was happy for the people to get their gelato. And I don't know, everything was just such a vibe. Like, look at this little cigarette moment. I'm like, am I in some like Italian noir film right now? And then I got a little snacky. I got a little hungry. So then we walked into the only place that was open, basically, because I wanted to get pasta at this other place, but they were closed for their siesta. I'm like, like, I did not know that was an actual thing, and I feel like we need to bring that culture to the States. I'm like, yes, normalize shutting down in the middle of the day just to take a little nap, to take a little break. Why not? So this place was the only place that was open, so no pasta for me on the first day. And we went to this sandwich shop, and it was so cute. It was very unassuming. And we walked in, and there's like a bunch of different variations of like the same kind of thing, which was like meat and bread. But it was just like a different variation of like what kind of meat, what kind of spread, what kind of cheese. And then they also, of course, were serving wine, because that's just what Italians do. And so like this place was really cute. It was like pretty small, and we grabbed a seat towards the back, and it was honestly such a vibe. Normally I'm not a sandwich girl, but again, this was the only place that was open, and I'm so glad that I tried it because it was so freaking good. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like the bread was like crispy yet chewy, and then like the meat was so thinly sliced, and I got mine with like cheese and truffle spread, and so I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for some truffle. You caught me. And it was so good. Honestly, though, really messy. Oh, my hair is so... Gosh. Do you see how windy it is? This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, everyone ignore what's going on. I'm so sorry. And it was so messy. Crumbs got everywhere, but it was so good. So after we ate some sandwiches, we continued walking around this little market. And like, again, I said, the sun came out, and it was so cute. It was such a vibe. Like, look at these little pigeons. And then we also saw this really cute candy store that I was obsessed with. I thought it was a cute little mom and pop situation. Turns out it's a chain, but they had so much candy. I was like, what is going on here? And yeah, it was just more walking, exploring this area. There was like so many cute little alleyways, and the architecture was so beautiful, and there's just so much brick. It was giving a brick moment. I'm like, someone back then really decided brick was their building material of choice and doubled down. And then we just like walked around and saw like all these cute little houses and things, and oh my gosh, I was obsessed because there's this little archway, and there's just like a line of like 5 old men just sitting there like with chairs vibing. I was like, where'd you get those chairs? And like, what's going on here? Like, are you guys friends? Are you guys strangers? Are you watching us? Like, are you guys just chilling? But I liked them. That was us exploring San Gimignano. But after that, we were ready to check in to where we were staying. So we did a little drive over and took a long freaking nap because I was exhausted from the journey and the drive. And by the time we woke up, it was like 9:30 p.m. low-key, and a lot of places were closed. So we went to the only spot that was open, and honestly, this ended up being the highlight of my trip, just because it was what I'd always imagined being in Italy would be like. We pulled up. It was like dead quiet, by the way. When we walked into that area, I thought like everything was closed. There was like not a single sound in sight. But then as we approached the restaurant, it was like a movie. It was like I heard like the laughter, the chatter, the warm glow of the restaurant, like from a close distance. It's kind of like what you would imagine like a little like oasis to be. It was so freaking cute. And it was like 10:15 when we pulled up. Is this restaurant called Vico Furbo, in case you ever want to try it. And the inside vibes were so freaking cute. Again, exactly what I would think like an Italian restaurant would be. And they were so nice to serve us because they closed at 11, and I was just testing my luck to see if like they would actually serve us. And they were like, it's so late, so the only thing you can get is pizza. And we're like, no problem, please make us pizza because we're starving. And honestly, that was on my list anyways to try, pizza in Italy, but it was so good. I was so hungry at that point. I literally downed this entire pizza by myself. I got this like speck. They call it kind of like salted ham and mushroom cheese pizza. Bro, I annihilated that so fast. I was like, I've never eaten an entire pizza by myself. And I don't know, it was just like such an unexpected, unplanned thing that it added to the vibes. And then of course, at the end, I had to get some tiramisu because I love tiramisu, and I will get tiramisu every time I go anywhere that has it because it's just like a rite of passage for me, essentially. Like, I have to have it, and that was so good too. And I was like, wow, I feel so blessed in this current moment that I got to just nap forever, wake up and get pizza and tiramisu at 10-11 p.m. at night. I'm like, wow, that was so amazing. Kind of magical, low-key. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I need to talk faster. I'm only on day 1 and I've already taken like a bajillion minutes. What's going on? It's dangerous for me to have this mic. Now I feel incredibly empowered to just yap. And so that was night 1. And then on Friday, we woke up and we went to this place called Officina something. I'll put the name here. But it's like this super famous lunch spot that's been featured on Chef's Table. And so, of course, I wanted to go check it out because I'm a sucker. I'm basic. Lunch was supposed to be set for 1 p.m., but they told us to roll up at like 12:30 for like the appetizers. And I was like, what does that mean? And so when we showed up, there's a huge crowd gathering in front of the restaurant. And there was this lady or 2 ladies passing around bread with spread on it and also passing out free wine. Again, I don't drink wine, but boy, do I eat bread. I at first didn't know what was on top of the bread. I thought it was is this tuna? All I knew was it was absolutely amazing and delicious, and honestly I ate too much bread at the beginning. And I kind of wish I didn't, because I wish I saved my stomach for more of like the meat stuff, but I couldn't help it. It was like the first thing I ate that day, so I just gobbled it down. And turns out it's lard. It's lard with like rosemary, I think, and apparently it's very common in Italy. I did not know that I was just scarfing down so much lard first thing in the morning. But no worries, it was so good. And then to start the lunch, this guy came out and like blew a horn and was like shouting, and he was so funny, and I was like so excited that he was so excited. But yeah, let me put a little clip here to show you what that was like.
I ristoranti sono aperti! Buon appetito a tutti! The restaurant is open! Carne diem! Carne diem! E carne diem!
And this little restaurant is on both sides of the street because it's so popular, and they have to seat so many people that there's also people on the other side. And basically what happens is, like, at the time when lunch is ready, you go up to this lady that has a piece of paper, and then she'll tell you which side you're on. And you go inside. There's more bread. Did I take more? Yeah, I did. And then you get seated. So like they have like a seating chart of where they put everyone, which honestly was kind of nice because I was a little anxious about having to choose a seat and like to sit next to a bunch of strangers, but they don't let you pick. So it was nice that I didn't have to try to decide who to sit next to. The way this works is that they serve you 6 courses of meat, and there's a little like diagram of a cow, and like they'll tell you like which number / part of the cow that you're eating. Sorry if you're a vegetarian, please don't come at me, but yes. And they give you olive oil and like vegetables. I tried some veggies just to, you know, when in Rome kind of thing. I'm not usually a vegetable girl, but I tried it, dipped it in the olive oil, and it was so good. And then of course more bread, and I dipped it into this amazing salt that they had on the table for us. Again, maybe shouldn't have filled up on the bread, but I got too excited. And their whole like phrase is called like carne diem, and they have like all you can drink wine. Again, I don't drink, but I poured a little out just for the aesthetic. And then thus began the most filling meal of my whole life. I ate my body's weight worth of meat. And the first thing was this beef tartare. I've never had beef tartare like this before. It was so freaking good, and they gave us so much of it. Honestly, I was low-key full by that meal. And then the second cut of meat, which was my favorite, it was like this like thin, like kind of like roast beef energy. Oh my gosh, that was so good. And then like it's cool if you got like seated in front of the carver, because then he'll just like carve and like cook a bunch of meat in front of you. I was a little bit far away. I was in the back corner, but I tried to zoom in and do my best to show you guys what that looked like. But honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally insane. Like, look at him just carving that. That's crazy. And that just kept going. Yeah, they just kept giving us more and more cuts of meat until we got to the end, and it was so good. And at one point they were like, surprise, we have a piece of meat that's not on the menu for you, and it was like beef stomach or like beef belly or something. Oh my gosh, this one was so freaking good. But by that point, this was like halfway through the course, I think. I was already so full. I felt so bad that I was like, I can't eat more. But like low-key, my favorite towards the end, they gave us this baked potato to put lard on top of to eat. Whoa. Someone call the police. The policia. This was the best potato I've ever had in my life. And I've eaten a lot of potatoes. I consider myself a potato connoisseur. I'm like, I've never had anything like this before. It was so buttery and soft. And I'm like, they must have put this potato in the oven for hours. Like, it was so soft, so flavorful. I have no idea how they got the flavor like that. And then once I added the lard on top of it, listen, game over. If they had these potatoes in the States, other potato establishments would go out of business because I've never had anything like this. And it was a little tough mentally and emotionally because all I wanted to do was keep eating this potato. But then logically, for my money's worth, I knew I shouldn't stuff my stomach with more carbs. I needed to double down on the meat. But I just couldn't help myself. I'm like, dude, this potato, I think low-key MVP. And then at the end, oh my gosh, they gave us olive oil cake, which was bussin'. I love olive oil cake, and I was not sure what I was expecting, but they did like little sea salt on top. Oh my gosh, amazing. The olive oil cake, bussin'. And then guess what? They followed that up with the best espresso I've ever had in my whole life. And I'm like, bro, I've never had coffee like this before, and it was so good and also necessary because I was getting a little tired. And with that, that was it. That was it for our meal. I was so happy I got to try it, and if you're ever in Italy, I would recommend you try it too. Yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. What a lovely experience. I gotta speed this up. I'm talking way too long. Is this video gonna be like 45 minutes long? And then after lunch, we did a little drive, like an hour or so drive to Florence. If you've ever been to Florence, I didn't know this beforehand, but they have all these things called like ZTLs, which basically is a tourist trap where if you drive through it and you're not a resident, then they will fine you like 100 euros or something crazy, like 180 euros, something crazy like that. So if you're ever in Florence or in a very touristy part of Italy, you better be careful and keep an eye out for these signs, because if you drive through it and all of a sudden you're on a road that you didn't know was ZTL, you're gonna go home with a hefty fine. So it was very stressful to try to map and like strategically figure out where to park so that we would be right outside the ZTL and then we could just walk in. But once we did that, it was quite nice. I mean, there was like all these landmarks that were so beautiful. It was like, again, very brick. And I loved the color palettes of all the buildings, kind of like the yellows, the tans, the neutrals. It was so beautiful. And we kind of just walked around, did a little shopping. I didn't buy anything. It was just for the vibes, and just soaked it in. And then we also went to this cart for some lampredotto sandwiches, like where it's basically like a cow stomach sandwich. Bread was so good, and like the cow stomach part was so flavorful. I've never had anything like it in the States, that's for sure. But we were so full from lunch earlier that this was literally our dinner. But then I am a sucker for some crepes, for some Nutella crepes more specifically. And there's this like really cute gelato crepe spot right next door to the sandwich stand that we were eating at. So then I went and got my little crepe. It was so delicious. I did spill Nutella everywhere on me because we were very generous with the Nutella, but you know, you live and you learn. And then after that, we went home. So now it was Saturday. I woke up and decided to do a little Airbnb tour. So let me put some clips here of me giving a tour of the Airbnb. Okay, this Airbnb is super cute. So you walk through the front door, and then this is what you see. The like general kitchen and living room area. I love the aesthetic. It's so, I don't know, it's so cute. It's so quintessential Italy. There's this cute little ottoman thing here, a little couch, a little cabinet where inside they have like our kitchen supplies and whatnot. And I don't know, this window thing is just so cute. And it like looks into the terrace. And then there's this little window thing, which I'm not sure what it's for, but it's cute. And then sorry, I'm like, my allergies are really bad. And then over here is this little fireplace, and then the kitchen, this cute little fridge. There's nothing inside, but cute. And then this little cupboard with cups, and then microwave. And then here's some more like kitchen supplies. And then this is where we sort our garbage. They do like plastics, mixed, and then compostables. And then here is this sink. The sink is so big, which is so nice. And this like really pretty like Italian tile. And then here is where we turn on and off the gas. And so this is a little gas stove, and you just turn it on using that. And then you use this to heat it up. But so cute. Also, this thing is so genius. Like, you hang your dishes here and then it drips into the sink. I'm like, that is genius. I feel like we need that in the States. But here is just like some more storage and cleaning supply stuff. And this is what the stairwell looks like. I love the wooden beams up there. It's so cute. And then here is one of the rooms. Has 2 beds. And then has this dresser thing, a little thing to hang our clothes. And then this is the view outside our window. Oh my gosh, literally insane. So cute. And again, these wooden beams are just so pretty. I don't know, something about it, it's giving rustic. And like in our Airbnb, there's all these stink bugs which freak me out, but apparently they're not dangerous, so it's fine. We ran out of toilet paper, but they said that there's more locked up in the drawer of the second bedroom, and then went to go look for this key. I'm like, I didn't even know they made keys like this still. Oh no. And then after that, we went to lunch at this restaurant called Ristorante de Pode. It was so freaking good. Oh my gosh, I really gained 1,000,000 pounds on this trip. I've never eaten more in my life. It was so good. For appetizer, we got the duck pate. I've never had pate like this where it was like all grounded up. It was so good. And then I got this sheep's cheese pudding with walnuts and mushrooms. That flavor was honestly insane and incredible also. I also got the truffle ravioli, amazing, 10 out of 10. And then I got the beef stew with this like polenta situation. I honestly thought it was only okay. This one was only okay. I wouldn't get it again. But a surprise star of the show was this tomato salad. I've never had tomatoes so fresh, and I think I was also so meated out from my meals before that it was just so refreshing to have fresh tomatoes and basil, and we had a little balsamic, a little olive oil. Oh, so freaking good. And then of course had to end my meal with some tiramisu because I'm addicted to tiramisu. And it looked really unassuming, but it was so good. Like maybe top 10 tiramisus I've ever had in my life. But then after that, we went back to our Airbnb and took a food coma nap. Literally, I just did some reading, did some napping, did my slow living situation, and then we woke up for dinner, and the sun came out, and the view behind our Airbnb was absolutely life-changing and insane. This was everything I've ever wanted, to be honest, was like to see this view in person. It was so pretty. No words could describe like how nice it was. But yeah, after I admired the wonderful scenery, I then went to eat at this incredible establishment. It's called Osteria 1126, and it was so funny because when we pulled up to the restaurant, we saw the same people that we saw at lunch. Like we both had the same idea to go to the same places. So I guess extremely unoriginal. Oh, we're basic, but if it works, it works. But it was so good. The bread with the lard, again. There's this little like appetizer. It was like a cheese salad. I'm like, that's my type of salad. And it was so good. And they gave us a little bag, and I was like, what's in the bag? And here's a little clip of that. But I got like this green pea fettuccine situation for my appetizer. I know, a really intense appetizer, like an entire pasta dish. But I was like, yo, solo, whatever. For my main, I got this like fish dish and I needed fish because I was again all meated out from my prior meals, and this was so good also. It was like so light and delicious. And then for dessert we got this creme brulee, which was fine, no tiramisu, but the bathroom I wanted to show you guys was like so cool. I've never seen it before. They like have these foot pedals to release the water. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, honestly I felt so blessed to be able to be there and eat dinner. It was such a freaking vibe. And then thus came to the end of our trip. So now it was Sunday, the day that we were flying back, and we decided to do a quick little pit stop at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I've never seen it before. Obviously I've seen it in photos, but I'm like, that do be leaning. And I don't know, it was just kind of cute to be there, to be part of like the tourist vibes. And of course I had to try an Italian McDonald's, and there was a McDonald's right next to the Tower of Pisa, and so we tried that also. It was a very quick speed run through this area, to be honest, because we had a flight to catch, and then after that we went home. Honestly, so happy I got to fulfill my dream, my lifelong dream of getting to go to Tuscany. It was so much fun, and I feel like honestly 3 days was like a good amount of time. I mean, obviously I could have stayed for longer, but I had to go back to work. But yes, hopefully let me know what you guys think about this style of video and also my new mic setup. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.